Good afternoon. In this video, we're going to go over this week's options watch list. Before I get into the watch list, if you're new in the room, you can find the link in the description of the video and in my bio section of the social media accounts. Also, please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Now, the watch list is pretty much the same as last week. Not too much really going on. Now FOMC is over with. Put to call ratio is at 0.69. It's really nothing to get excited about. The economic calendar for the week. We got a few things coming up. Monday, don't really see anything on Monday. Tuesday, nothing really on Tuesday either. A couple speakers. Williams at 12:05 on Tuesday, but Wednesday we do have CPI month and yearly and core CPI. So Wednesday morning we could have a good day. Wednesday morning. So we'll have to see what happens. Thursday we got core and PPI and unemployment claims on Thursday. And on Friday, we have preliminary consumer sentiment at 10 a.m. So, yeah, the PPI and the CPI are at 8:30 Wednesday and Thursday. Those are going to be the big ones. So hopefully they will give some direction to the market and get us going one way or another and get us away from this 410.50 area, which has been kind of like been stuck at that range for a little while. But we'll get into that in a minute. But that's it for the economic calendar for the week. VIX, it started to pop a little bit and it just got hammered on Friday. So we've got a little bit of a bank scare. Then Apple came and saved the day. I guess you could say that. And then we're back down to 17. I don't think VIX should be down here at all, considering all the things that are going wrong right now. And more banks could be failing, and this was a tweet I saw yesterday that there's a lot of banks on the brink of failure. So I think the market should have a lot more fear than what it does. The market could be just shrugging and just, I don't really care, whatever, because that's basically how the market's been lately. But one of the things I want to point out is that VIX did close green on the weekly, but it did get, really hammered on. But like I said, with the amount of things going on, I figured it would be well above 20, but we'll have to see what happens. Basically, this week, it's going to be take it day by day, news event by news event, because it's going to literally be one headline is going to change everything. I mean, the market could look very bullish, and something could happen, and the market could tank. Or we could have bad news and the market could just dip for a little bit, then just V-rally and make new highs and not care. So, which has been happening a lot lately. So VIX did pull back. I still think that we're going to get a bigger, stronger push to 22, 24, maybe even 26. But it'd have to be pretty significant. If like a bigger bank fails, like Wells Fargo, Chase or something, or ends up having some kind of not failing but signaling that they're having hard times, that that could end up creating a huge mess. So VIX, I don't think it's going to get below 16 again, but you never know. I mean, it did for right here, but just for the amount of what's going on, I just cannot see it going under 16 or even 15, but I could be completely wrong. So I definitely think that it getting hammered on Friday, we could end up seeing another pop. Maybe not tomorrow. Maybe we go sideways Monday and Tuesday, and VIX gets hammered on to down to 15 or 16. Then the PPI numbers, CPI numbers come out Wednesday and Thursday, and that shows the real what's happening with inflation. If inflation is not going down with all these rate hikes, and the Fed's kind of screwed, and there's going to be some really massive problems coming down on the horizon here in the next few months. So that's just thinking ahead. Now SPY, like I said, was worried about the banks. Apple came and saved the day back above this 410.50 area. Just loves this area. We're just chopping around it over here like we did here. We got underneath it, got bought back up, dropped down, got bought back up. So maybe, SPY does decide to take off a little bit, get above 415 and start testing this 418, 420 area, and does something. But the middle Keltner channel is still holding on the weekly. This white line, it held, and it's still pushing up. The inverted head and shoulders is still there, the left, the head, and the right shoulder. It's still there. At some point, it's probably going to go, but I just think we're going to get more of a fake out, maybe a push to 420, 425 before we fake out and dump. But with all the bad things that are happening right now or are about to happen, I wouldn't be surprised if SPY just takes off, because everyone is in the mindset of something bad happening. And maybe it doesn't happen, because there's been times where we've been waiting for something to happen and it just doesn't happen, and SPY just takes off. So SPY has a habit of doing stuff like that, so you got to keep an open mind of what the market's doing and what could possibly happen, and keep that in the back of your mind. So right now, the market is pushing up. So if it does manage to get over 414, get a little gap right here at 415, 416, 417, 418. So if we do manage to get over this 418 level, we could get a push to 420, even 425. But on the downside of it, if we get below this 410.50 area again, we get some gaps to fill down here underneath 408. And we got gaps down here at the 397 area. So we could definitely see a push down to 400. I really thought we were going to get a push to 400 right here. But miraculously, Apple beat earnings and saved the day. So we'll have to see what happens. But SPY, like I said, take it day by day. We'll make a decision in the morning, what we're going to do, what we're looking at, and just take it day by day. Because, everything can change overnight. Everything can change in the morning. So we'll just watch it from both directions and be open-minded to which way it could go. But the weekly defined inverse head and shoulders, everyone's probably watching that. It's right now, I'm kind of thinking that people are more dwelled on the banks failing and it dumping than SPY, popping up a little bit more and ignoring the news, then actually pulling back. So that's what I'm kind of leaning towards right now. I think that we could get a scare, but just so many people are like split right now. Most are leaning towards the bearish side, which I am headed in that direction too. But SPY being as crazy it is, I think that it could possibly ignore news like it's done in the past and just shoot up a little bit and then actually make the dump. We'll have to see if that's what happens, but that's what I'm thinking. But who knows? I could be completely wrong. That's why we make decisions in the morning based on that. So Meta is another one I'm looking at. It's right outside the Keltner channel on the daily. It was on the weekly. It's been outside right here. It came in a little bit, then it got massive push ER. We'll have to see if that actually holds. But what day was this? This was because I was saying watch underneath the 235 area for a push down. So which it did get down to 230, but I would still watch it underneath 230 for a gap fill down here at the 215 area. See if it fills this gap, or even down to 220. See if it does do that. But based on what it did over here, it pulled back like 50% and didn't quite get 50%, but it pulled back enough. So it could end up doing this kind of a move. Who knows? We'll have to see what happens. But eventually these gaps are going to fill. 160 and 220. What it's going to be, I have no idea. It could take years, but definitely with it full body weekly candles outside of the Keltner channel, I still think we're going to get a pushback into the 200 area, but we'll have to see if that actually happens or not. So Meta, that's what I'm looking at for Meta. NVIDIA is doing the same thing outside the Keltner channel on the weekly. It did, let's see, blow it up here. It did stay outside. It came back in a little bit, then it popped more. Had a nice little flag right here and it popped more, but I really think that it's going to pull back in. Did the same thing up here. Outside popped a little more before it actually came back in. So I actually thought it was going to be right here, because this is more of the setup of right here, and it pulled back in, then it dropped more. But here it pulled up and it didn't really drop. It took off more. So anytime I see full body candles outside the weekly, I definitely look at it from the short side. It may take months, weeks to actually work out, but they tend to work out. Daily up against the RCT trend line. It's a good rejection area. So I would watch it underneath, say 285 or even 280, 250 for a push down to the 275. 270, get a gap fill down here at 265. So got some areas to fill. Gets below the 260 area, 250 be the next big area. So, but technically, RCT trend line and middle Keltner channels down at the 237, 238 area. So it's got room to drop. We'll have to see if it actually will drop. So, Tesla. I'm really liking this. It pulled back a little bit. I was saying to watch it over the 165. It did get a push to the 20 EMA on the daily. It could reject a little bit, but get a nice inverted head and shoulders going on right here. I get the left, the head, and the right shoulder. And technically, it did break the gap resistance of 168, but it could pull back to 168 and then make another run for the 170 plus and make for a gap fill. So if it does come back and test this 168 level, then it gets back over 170, then I would definitely keep an eye on Tesla for making a gap fill up into the 180. So maybe it doesn't even pull back. Maybe it just makes a straight run. So either way, whether it goes straight or it pulls back a little bit, I would watch it over 170, even 171 for push to 180 on Tesla and watch it fill the gap. So that's what I'm watching on that one. Microsoft is just, well, didn't get the T out of there. Again, the same thing. We're seeing weekly full body candle outside the daily, outside the weekly. Definitely do like seeing that come back in. Same thing. It comes out. It takes a little while to come back in. This takes about a month to do so. So we'll have to see if that actually happens. So I would watch it underneath this 305 area for push to 300. Then you get gap resistance right down here, gap support right down here at 295. It likely holds that, and then probably bounces at 295. And if it does bounce, it can make like a head and shoulders before it fills the gap down here. But definitely thinking that if it does manage to get the below 305, we could see it push down to 295. So Microsoft's got room to drop. The RCT trend line and middle area is right down at 290. Middle Keltner is at 280. So definitely could see 290. Very, very possible on that. So definitely keep an eye on Microsoft. BA still in this channel. Still in this 190, what is it, like 195 to 215. Still stuck in that $20 range right there. Eventually it's going to break out. It did close underneath the weekly 20 EMA, which is this white line, but it did get bought, so that could have been the strength of SPY giving it momentum. But I'd watch it underneath 190, you could say 195 or even 194. If it does get below 194, you can definitely see a push down to 190, 185, basically every $5, 180. Then you get the 180 is a pretty big level. Then you get the 175. So on BA. So this week could be a very dramatic, eventful week with news and stuff like that. So like I said, we'll just take it day by day, and that's why you need to be in the room, because anything can happen. One headline and everything's going to change. So that's going to do for the watch list, and thanks for watching.